Alright, what up? Welcome back. I know it's been a minute, but I've been working on a few things, trying to get a few other games going on and get some servers up. But in this video, I just wanted to give my thoughts about the game. Right now, I'm just planting the hemp plants and the potato plants, tending to the garden. I figure I'd bring you guys back to give you an update, let you see what it looks like. With this one though, I've noticed, like I'll state later on in the video as well, is like I've noticed that I don't think the game is meant for us just to jump from island to island. I know I keep saying that, but when I say that, I mean not so much jump from island to island. I mean as in like we're supposed to utilize the island, like how I have this garden here. All these trees, I'm gonna chop those down after taking all the bud out of it, but I'm gonna chop those down, use them all for sticks, but put them away so that while I'm on the road or on the water, I can use them for rope. All these carrots, I'm hoping to receive, or in corn, I'm hoping to receive seeds back so I can, in addition, plant more. So that I have all those vitamin C's, all those different food groups. If you're watching one of my previous videos, I actually make a water jug turn into one of those things that could hold food. So I figure if I boil the corn and all that and make those big old meals, I only need one bottle of those a day to get me out there on the water. So that's some of my thought process in making sure that I had everything that I needed, absolutely everything I needed, and have one main island as a station that would have everything I need as far as like getting palms and getting coconuts. I can either let them fall from the tree or pick them up as I go around the different islands. But I never just went to one island, the next island, and then went to the cluster. If you notice, every island I went on, I actually seen what it had, and I stripped it for everything that I needed or everything that I could use. Certain things I could leave there and come back for, but that's what I started to think. And if you're going from cluster to cluster, and some of these trips I've seen were days on end, sometimes you may mess up or get off course. You might need an extra load. So what I decided was I'm just going to plant a huge garden. Got to make sure I have a nice storage of all the different things that they gave us, make a big raft, and make sure that when I go out to sea that I have all of the things that I have here on my raft, so I can be just as sufficient on the raft as I was in the game or as I was on the island. But like I said, that's just me, and that's how I look at it. I'm going to talk more about the garden, go on more about the growth of it. As you can see, I'm just giving you percentages of where everything's at, and hopefully you get another little look. This is why it took so long to make this video, because you got to wait for the plants to grow, and y'all know how that is. But alright, welcome back. What's up? It's been a minute since we checked this garden, or I should say it's been a last recording since we checked this garden. But so far, as you can see, that's what we got going on. Let's get this door open. So that's our hemp plants. They're looking pretty good. They're at 12%. Over here we got the corn plants, 12%, looking okay. I'm noticing they're gonna grow like the hemp plants, so it'll be a minute before we get some corn going. And over here we got the carrot plants, which seem like they grow like the potatoes, so that's not bad either. And over here, well, our field of potatoes are really growing, so that vitamin C will be good. And that's what the vegetables you want is good for vitamin C when you're out there on the open sea out there, and keep everything going. And we do have 1.1% on our fertilizer here, so that's not bad. And what I did was I came over here and I made some more fertilizer composting bins, because as you can tell, we're going to need it. It doesn't really last that long until you actually get it to a better percentage. Like not the percentage on there, like you want to get to, maybe 7 or 8 when it's actually filled up. Right now it's still what I would call cooking, and we also have the one down there. But what I want to do in this episode is, now that we got everything we need, we traveled every island, we made ourselves a little home, and we made ourselves a little storage there and our little workshop. What I was thinking was getting things organized, because we do want to complete the raft. I want to make the raft, I want to make it a little bit bigger. I got these though because I want them just to go bad in the sun so I can use them for my composting. But we're going to need to make the raft bigger, and I'm going to make the raft big enough to the point where I put this stuff on it. This we want equipment, yeah. So I'm going to put these little individual plant plots on them, because that way I can still plant my food as I'm going down looking for the new cluster. And that's what I think ultimately this game is about. I think the game is about going to each cluster, finding a new cluster. As you can tell, we're doing some reorganization around here, so we're getting all the things out, putting all the stuff in. But I think what it really is about is that we're getting all the stuff we need and getting ourselves together, making ourselves as self-sufficient as we can to be able to fully stay on that road if we have to stay on there for hours upon end or days upon end. Now, no, it's not ideal. I've seen a lot of people not liking the idea of actually having to sit out there for hours. It looks like it's a boring trip. It looks like there's nothing to do. But ultimately, if you think about it, we're sitting on these beaches with the exact same opportunities. The only difference is that it's going to be a raft instead of a beach. Now, we won't have the availability to have these dew catchers and supplies with water all the time, but we have all these water buckets. We have all of these water barrels, and what I'm thinking we can do the most is we can fill up those water barrels as best as we can, use it for a drink as long as we can, and then once they go bad, they'll be great for planting and watering the crops, which will have a crop section. Trust me, my raft I want to make as big as I can make it to make sure that it's pretty much walking around that thing as if I was walking around this island. And basically, my idea is to once that water goes bad, I can use that to keep my crops going. But we get so many jars, and I've been running around getting these boxes and getting mad when it doesn't have just seeds in it. But now I'm actually happy when I see how many cups I have or how many jars I have to store water in, because that's going to be the ultimate savior. Like if I notice one thing inside our chest, like inside of these chests and the ones we get off the ship, the water doesn't go bad, or the water and the food doesn't go bad as fast. Like I've had food in these things since I made it to this island, and I haven't had a problem with it at all. As well as I will be keeping a jar with salt water. That way I can keep my salts up as well as my vitamin C. But I've noticed that the food doesn't go bad. I wouldn't say at all, but I would say I haven't seen it go bad yet. So I'm thinking that's what these crates do. They keep the food fresh a little bit longer. But that's my view. And like I said, my thoughts on the game is just I think what we're supposed to do is not just up and run on each island. I know I've been mentioning that day in, day out on each video, but I wanted to stress that in this video, just give an idea of like my thoughts of the game and just show you like everything's done. I don't have an island that I have to go to because I want to go see what's in that shipwreck. My map is completely marked. There's no more islands to go to. I made a mess of it. What we want to do is we're in this cluster. We want to start finding the new clusters. And the only way to do that is to take the sextant out and try to do this thing with it. Let me see. But I'm not the best with that yet. We're still just trying to figure everything out. I don't mind if y'all can spam the comment section, give me an idea of how I'm supposed to use that. I know they do give us an idea of how to use it in the journal, but I haven't really quite went through it. Like I said, from my time, I've just been trying to figure out this game, figure out what it's about, how they want us to use it. Is it meant for us just to go to one island, go to the next, get everything we need, and use our same raft and fly and ride down to a new cluster? And like I said, what I come to realize, what I come to think, that that's not a thing. I think the thing in this game is make a home on one of these islands, get yourself fully sufficient, and then start making moves to the next place and the next place and the next place. That's what my thoughts is. All of this is going to be cleaned up. Like I said, I'll be making a lot of chests, storing a lot of chests. The coconuts will be coming. Instead of having them whole, I'll be breaking them down. These won't be looking like this. They'll be broke down to the little husk, and mainly because it'll give me more space. It'll help me make rope, and if I need fire for kindling or kindling for fire. Like I said, everything I think in this game and every island that they give you in this game and every piece of resource in this game is to help you navigate from one cluster to another. And I got that idea by realizing it takes at least 3 or 4 in-game hours to get to each cluster. So that's what I have for that. I'm going to try to get most of these boxes back over here, get some organization on them, because I have things, if you've been watching, following along, I have things in everything. There's no organization in these chests. Keeping some of the palms over here. I'm going to keep that chest there just in case I have any miscellaneous things. This I'm going to have more for, I'm thinking, my tools, my rope, my cups, everything. Like, this is going to be the ultimate place that we pick up all of our boxes from, and we take it onto our raft. If you can tell, I have all my logs in here. These logs are for literally to make the raft. Before I leave, I'm probably going to tear down a lot of this. A lot of this is going to be torn down. We're gonna we're gonna figure out, get this figured out, and we're gonna bring you back and show you what we got done with progress thus far. All right, cool. All right, so at this point, like I said, we want to try to get all of our stuff together. Everything in all these chests are a mess, and I do got to organize them and put the right things in the right places. So what I'm going to be doing is just stacking them up, taking them from one side of the storage, the first storage we built, and put them over here in the workshop. And I call it a workshop because all the stuff that we're going to be using to like do work, as in make the raft bigger, make our rope, put our seeds where they need to be, are all going to be in here. This is where we'll do most of our working and organizing to get the raft together. I'm probably going to pull the raft over just behind this little base so that when everything's done, I just walk straight to that beach, get on the raft, and start my 3-day journey, which means I got to set out for about 3 to 4, maybe 6 hours to get this trip done. It's going to be a whole lot from what I can think of, but it's not too bad. I don't think it's going to be too bad once I got it organized. I've definitely played this game for more hours, just sitting on a bench waiting for things to accumulate. But yeah, this here, like I said, I made it just so that I could stay organized, and I put these chickens out here because I want to try to get more compost, and they seem to work better inside the composter. But that was just something I wanted to put together to make sure that I had as much as I need. Because even that, I'm hoping I can bottle up. Like all those loot boxes that we got out of the ships, I feel like all those bottles is just for what I'm doing, putting fertilizer away, making sure you bring fertilizer, because I'm still trying to figure out how I would bring it in an abundance on the boat when there's nothing to really put it in. So trying to farm doesn't really seem like the smartest thing on the boat, and it seems like I might have to bring 50-50 food, 50-50 farming stuff. But with a campfire on there, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to cook most of the vegetables and eat them as I go, because I know they usually stay a lot better, a lot fresher as long as you have them in the storage. It's when you have them on your person and when you just lay them out in the sun, it's easier for them to go bad. So like I said, it's going to be a big exploration. Me, I was a person that wanted to plan and make sure that I went through it as thoroughly as I could. And if you know me and you know the videos I do, I will be tedious. I do like to go through a lot of how-tos or ways to get it done. When I jump on games, I hate getting frustrated. But right now, like I said, just watering the plants and trying to fertilize them and get everything together, put everything together, get everything going as fast as I can, because the better the fertilizer, the better the growth of the plants, and the faster, is what I read in the game. But yeah, just trying to maintain. Another thing is like lights. It's like lights. You're gonna want to at the very least, is try to make some oil. And if you watch another one of my previous videos, the fish oil, or how to make the oil for candles, is very smart, very clever, because it'll give you a lot of light out there. It'll allow you to be able to see what you need. You're also going to need a storage for sticks, which is why I said that all this stuff is very important. I got 3 trunks out there and one on my raft, which will be holding a lot of logs and things of that nature. No, it's not clever to cut wood up on the raft, but we're gonna have to do it to keep a fire going at times. So like, even just trying to use the barrels to put out the fire if we don't want to just let the fire burn, because we will be at bare minimum for wood. So that's gonna be a big thing. And in a minute you will see that I will have to bang, like I said, the trunks and the logs that we will be putting out there. And right now, like I said, these are going to be for the raft, so I'm just going to pick them up out of the trunks and put them out there in front of the base so it's not so hard. It got really dark, really late. I got tired, and I thought I was sleeping on the bed, and then I thought about it. That will wake me up way before daylight, and I hate having to record it at night. So what I'm going to do is definitely sleep on the ground, because it takes you longer to get back up, which allows me to sleep throughout the night the whole way. The bed allows me to sleep and get up a lot faster. Of course, I'm not going to make you watch me sleep the whole time, so I'm going to cut the camera, and boom, we're wide awake. These things are almost ready. Now, you can put them in whole like that, but I prefer to let them go bad. And before I leave, probably after this video, I'm actually going to go out and spend most of the nighttime shooting up as many seagulls as I can to let them go bad so I can use them as things to put in the fertilizer. And like I mentioned, I will be putting these away, and this is what I made this for, to keep all these logs organized. I don't want to have to keep wasting a bunch of wood on making trunks when I can keep them inside of a storage, inside of a workshop, like such. And yes, I wanted to try to lay them down neatly, like as if the game automatically does it for you. So I tried to lay them down in a nice row. I wanted to give you guys I wanted to give you guys some kind of a visual so that like not everything I do is sloppy. I mean, I worked kind of hard on some of these builds. I wanted to make them look half decent, but the least I can do is try to lay things down and put things in an organization so you can actually look. But yeah, with this part, we were just dropping down a bunch of wood logs, counting how much we have. We know we need at least 2 for the raft. So this will help us organize how big, how wide, and how long we're going to actually make this raft. Because remember, we want to fit almost all the storage we have. Everything that we have in storage, we want to be able to put it on the raft, and we want to be able to utilize it. We want to know what's what and what's not. So that's going to be another thing, trying to make different areas that will have different things. The banana trunks are definitely coming as well. I feel like those could be a good division of like this floor. The banana floors will have the food on it. The palm floors would have, let's say, the resources on it, and we'll just go from there. As well as I do got, like I said, I do got to make a lot of plant plots. I want to make one for each thing that we grow, from hemp trees all the way down to potatoes. So we're looking at maybe 3 or 4 plant plots to make sure we have all the food that we can grow. And I just wanted to lay these down and get these organized so that we actually are off to a good start. I still have a lot more organizing to do, and this isn't even a half, so I'm going to stop it there and just start getting some of the fertilizer going back to the garden, dealing with that, because to me, just getting the first set of crops grown and done, having that put away and stored, gives us a faster push to, yeah, we're ready to go. Because the biggest thing we need to worry about is water and food. If you ask me, make sure we have all of our salt, which is why I have a barrel of salt. Another thing, I got to figure out how I'm going to keep all the salt I can. So what I was thinking was salting a lot of the food, cooking a lot of the food, drying out a lot of the food. Because the one thing we will have that's great is the dryers that are on there, the dry racks. So I know I'll be able to take a lot of the fish that we have in all of our fishing traps and store those up in crates and just dry them as we go along to make sure that we have our fish. Meats are going to be a little bit difficult to make sure that we have, like land meats, because seagulls don't last too long. Turtles let off some meat, but not a whole bunch. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to cut up all the drumsticks and all the seagull legs and keep them going. But as you notice, the garden did get a little bit bigger. The plants grew over that one sleep. So what we're going to want to do is get that fertilizer together, fertilize it again once it goes down a little bit more, and make sure we keep water on it, let the sun keep hitting it, and we'll be done. Down here is my starter area, and pretty much where we're going to get started now. I was thinking about adding to this raft, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to take it apart piece by piece and rebuild it, but it's going to be much bigger than this. This is an example of how I want to travel, except for it won't be this messy. There'll be a lot more organization, but I got a dryer. I got my crop plots. As you can tell, it does work on here. It did finish making the potatoes, so we're just going to get that up. And I'm definitely going to replant more potatoes. And that's what I mean by, will it give us more? Because when I plant 1 potato, it gives me 6. So if I'm planting 1 and getting 6, I wouldn't mind planting a few more and having a whole bunch. Because like I said, it's going to be food and water. It's going to be scarce down there. Water's going to be very hard to keep because those barrels, they do go bad quick. But we do have jars. And we're looking at trying to keep those for fertilizer, water, and food, just so that we have a long, just so that we can keep them fresh longer and make sure that they stay good longer until we actually reach an actual beach down there or reach a new cluster. So that's pretty much my thoughts, my idea on the game. That's my game plan. I call it my thoughts and my game plan for how I'm going to conquer the next cluster. Other than that, there's really not much to say. I mean, if you watched the full video, I definitely appreciate it. Would like to know your comments, your ideas of how you plan to conquer every cluster. It's definitely always good to hear and know what other people got going on, share ideas. But for me, that's pretty much going to do it. We're going to put this stuff away. We're going to cut the camera and the episode. I definitely enjoy this game. I like the strategizing, the work on your own, play it as your own. Like I said, if you got any ideas, any comments, you're more than welcome down in the comment section. Hit up the Discord if you want to talk. That's my 2 cents on this game. My thoughts and my updates. Two fingers. Peace.